Hello again, back with another devlog. This is to talk about the changes coming in 1.1.1. So the big thing that happened last patch was adding the goalie goal system, where you have this character come in, give us quests to do. For example, sell one permit, pretty simple one. But it's kind of been underperforming because I was very careful to bounce it in a way that wouldn't affect the early game too much because I didn't want to mess with the economy, but it's underperforming all the way through the game. So this patch is addressing that. We're adding a talent system. So to show you that, let's head out. So go back to Goalie's Meadow. We also changed the name of some of the goals. So instead of just kind of telling you what the goal was doing, they now have like descriptors. So instead of, for example, the one that gave you products back, just saying get products, it now says goalie refund, that's the name, and it tells you exactly how many products you get. So it'll be like, here's, you're gonna get 5 of whatever back, for example. But this is the new place. This is the talent system. We got 3 trees, each associated with one of the gals. This is the Golos tree, the Golanch tree, and the Golorothy tree. Now they're all associated with different parts of the system as well. So this tree handles in the goalie gold stuff. This tree handles the goalie heal stuff, and this tree handles both goalie refund and goalie max. Goalie max is what the product cap increase is now called. You get the points, the GG points that you can spend to go into the tree by completing goals. So you get your first one at 5 goals completed, and then the amount that you need increases by 5 every time. So the next one will be 10, then 15, and so on, and you can get up to 8 points. I'm pretty happy with 8 points. It's not impossible that I'll add more in the future, but I think 8 is a pretty good amount to play with because it lets you get to the end. It takes 5 to get to the end of one of the trees, and then you can either, for example, if I had, also to see what they do, you stand in front of them and you just click it and it spends a point. And you can go diagonally, but you can't get the same thing in a branch, so I can't get both of these options, but I can branch into another tree if I wanted to. So if I went down the middle here, I could actually end up in this spot instead, which is kind of interesting, I think. And even allowed to branch at the end here, so I could go to this point, and then if I had 2 more points to spend, and I would have 3 more at max, I could go here, and I could have 2 of the very powerful end talents, and then I'd have a spare, so I could come back and put that somewhere else if I wanted. And you can refund these for free back here. Doesn't cost anything, so you can just play around with, find what you like. They're fairly, I think they're going to help. I think they're going to make the thing scale a lot better too. And these unlock as you go into the game as well, so they're actually tied to your merchant status. So people may not realize, but as you progress, you actually increase your merchant rank a bit in the game. You can see this in the ledger. So when you first get the 2-town shop, you become a merchant, and it says rank merchant. And then when you pay off your loan, you become a grand merchant. So this second row here requires merchant. This one here requires grand merchant. This 4th one requires lord of business, and then the final 3 each have individual requirements. This one is tied to a certain pretty late game plot point. This one is tied to filling up the gem in the store when you get that, also pretty late. And again, pretty late, this is tied to filling up Tinto's hoard, so they all will unlock when you do those. One of the troubles I'm having is that it just wasn't scaling at all. Like, people were getting like 100 gold in the end game for a goal. It's like, oh, that's not great. So now when you have more than 3 points in a tree, you also unlock a bonus for that tree. And this one means that the more products you're getting in a quest, the higher the multiplier is going to be. So every 10 extra quest thing it's asking for. So say you had to give 11 med rank, that would count as 10. You'd get +1 to the multiplier on top of your regular gold multiplier. And if you did say 27, you'd get +2, and so on. It's also much easier to increase the multiplier now, so a couple of these will... yeah, this one will make it so that when you increase the gold multiplier, you add 2 instead of 1, and a bunch of these help with increasing the product cap as well. This makes it so you can always have goalie max as an option. That's actually kind of true across the board, so you can have goalie heal always here, goalie gold always here, and these ones adjacent to that means that you never have to pick that option, but it will always trigger at a quarter value, which is, I think that's kind of interesting. And you can even pick multiple of those. You could take all 3 of these if you spread your points out and have like focus on something else in your rewards and still be getting all 3 of these triggering. But these ones up here really kind of juice up the multiplier, so quadruples the maximum increase. And this one makes it so the increase triggers for all products at once, so you can kind of buff everything at the same time. The N ones, they're quite different. So this one changes the mechanic of goalie refund, so instead of getting product back when you choose that reward, they actually just instantly sell, so you get pretty juicy little gold boost there. The goalie heal one gives you an item, the Gem of Displaced Restoration, and it means so that whenever you pick goalie heal, or when you have it automatically triggering using this talent, instead of healing you, it'll put points into that item, and then you can use this item at any time to pull that out and get both HP and MP back. So I think that's kind of interesting. That'd be really useful for say filling up the Fae batteries later in the game, where you need quite a lot of mana at once. It'd be good there. There's a few instances in the game where you're going to want like a lot of a resource, and instead of having to just chuck down on booze or whatever, you could do this instead. And these 2 here, the ones in the middle and the left, they both persist, so I get to keep that item and use it, even though I don't have a point in this tree at the moment. But I can't store more energy into that item. It only stores the energy when I have the point. And the same goes over here. So this changes it so that goalie gold doesn't give you XP and coin directly. It instead puts that into this fund. And I'll go show you that now. Actually, I might need to unlock it. Let me just make sure I've unlocked it. Okay, I have unlocked it. Cool. So let's go have a look at that. Need to get back to the shop. And the other 2 trees have set bonuses as well, but this is probably the most interesting one. The other ones give you flat stats, which is nice, and there's definitely situational uses for those, but it's kind of my intention that this is the one you really want to go for. But the idea with the tree is that you're going to swap it around as you need. So if you want to like increase your multipliers, you can focus on that, or if you want to focus on rewards after you've done your multipliers, you can swap. Now let's have a look at this fund. So you get one of the gals moves in here. So I've done just a little bit here, and I've put that much in the fund from doing gold rewards. Now when you can withdraw any amount of that if you want, but it actually accumulates interest if you leave it in there. So we'll sell these 14 art so I can show that off. Let me just pick up some envelopes. So then we'll have Magnolia helping out, and that's going to speed this up a bit. And I'm almost out of fruit too, so let's just use some plant growers. Speed things up a bit. 3 out of 14. Still 3. Okay, hang on. We need to sell some art. 4 out of 14. The reason I'm putting mana into this is because if you hold the interact key, you can speed up the game. So that's a little efficiency tip for you. Of course, it's expensive to use all that mana, but there's a use for it. It's kind of the idea, as well as helping with getting Buck to come in. It also is a method for you to run the shop a bit cleaner. 11 out of 14, 12, 13, there we go. Okay, turn that switch back off. Maybe I'll shove the taxman out first as well. Okay, so let's hope I get the reward I need here. Probably, let me just save in case that doesn't happen. Okay, I did. So now if I pick the goalie gold option, now it's given me that into the fund, and also 5% of the total fund has accumulated interest. So again, that's going to start off slow, but this is now a scaling thing. Like, it was already kind of scaling with the multiplier, but now you're scaling with the multiplier by default. Then you can increase the power of the multiplier through the talent system. You can significantly increase the power of the product cap in the talent system, and you've got a whole bunch of other scaling habits. I've made like compound multipliers like crazy here to try and make this work a bit better in the late game. And the more you use this, the more interest you're going to get. And it's kind of like the opposite of the loan. So the loan is 5% disinterest, where you're having to owe more every time. And I think anyone who's struggled with the loan can kind of start to see, oh, now that's going to be on my side. I have the power to increase my thing. And hopefully a little faster than the loan too, depending on how quickly you do these goals. Some of them are a lot easier than others. Drank and fruit are especially easy because you have customers that buy a lot of them. I'm actually out of fruit, hang on. I'm going to be out of fruit. Well, we've got a fruit quest. I'm using the plant growers to make the pots grow here at the back. Now watch Magnolia come through and the bees. Speeds it up a lot. There we go. So you could focus on multiplying first, which is probably what you'd want to do, but that's more interest than last time. You can see it going up. Oh no, I've been kicked out of the shop. Oh, that's a terrible way to end that. Well, pretend that didn't happen. Another thing that included in the patch is updated patron list, so thank you to the new patrons. It's very, very cool to see that increasing. It makes me feel like I've got a chance at getting this to work. I've also got the Agdas coming up in a couple of days. We're a finalist for the Emerging Games. It's pretty cool. Hopefully we'll win, but I don't know, maybe we won't, we'll see. That's the main new feature in this patch. Usually I add a lot of things at once, but this was crazy amounts of work to make this happen. There's like a lot going on to make those talents work, and then to integrate it with the existing goalie system. There's a few bug fixes as well that'll be included in the patch notes. Do I have? Oh, it's easy. Pay the debt. I'm back in. Yeah, I don't know if people know that if you fail the 3 tax payments, you can actually still recover. You can get back as long as you can pay that debt. Difficult in the early game, but not so much of an issue in the late game, unless it's a big tax debt, but then you can use a tax evasion credit. But anyway, I'll stop waffling on. If you haven't heard of the game, it's called Final Profit, a shop RPG. It's on Steam. If you are watching this video as it comes out, it's currently on sale, but watching later, sorry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.